Okay, so Bitcoin is finally bouncing back from lows of 76,330 to be well exact. Guys, the question is Bitcoin going to go towards the upside finally and bounce, and we could expect some positivity finally in the market after seeing such so much of nonsense pretty much going on in the last week? And by the way, guys, apologies that I haven't been in here for the last week. I have finally come back from a holiday, and I do believe that from now on I will be able to provide much more updates, not only for BTC, Caspa, but multiple altcoins. Let's see how it goes. So my name is Luke, and if you find any value in this video, like and of course subscribe to the channel. Guys, remember that this video is not financial advice, and now let's hop into it. Okay, so we know that Bitcoin is experiencing a little bit of a recovery from these lows of 76k, and that's just 4%. Okay, it's obviously not a lot. We are waiting for BTC to actually come back to the previous all-time highs, right? Guys, I have prepared a couple of different data for you. Okay, I've got Colin's post because that's interesting, and of course I do have a little bit of my own analysis, so we are going to look at a couple of different things and we'll try to figure out what is going on. Okay, so maybe let's start with post that Colin actually has posted not that long ago. He says that stock and crypto are crushing, obviously, and the timeline is shameless, fear left and right. And to top it off, the US economy is legitimately overdue for a recession. Now, guys, looking at his screenshot over here, and obviously the video that he uploaded on his channel, he's predicting the blast of date around March 25th, right? And of course we are going to look at my trading view now too. Okay, so let's have a look, and let's go to the weekly time frame. I think he's doing it on a daily. I'm not entirely sure, to being honest with you, but indicator is called M2 Global Liquidity Index 10. And now on a weekly time frame, what I did, I put time offset 10 weeks. So whoopsie doopsie, let me put 10 again. Okay, 10 days, sorry, 10 as for 10 weeks, right? And now let me actually open it up, and we've got these two lines. What I have figured, in order to kind of visualize that probably much better, let's click on the area in here for the price of BTC, and this way we pretty much have just lines that are almost coinciding with each other perfectly, right? So following analysis of Colin, we potentially could expect Bitcoin actually going you know, higher in coming days. Obviously today is 11th of March, so we will still have to wait. Nonetheless, guys, if we are going to, let's say, follow that curve, we can see that there is a correlation, right? But remember that I have changed the settings, right? Then we have a little bit of a pump if it comes to global liquidity, and Bitcoin basically did this, right? Then we had a sharp dip, just like in here. Okay, and now we have such a scenario. So Bitcoin could potentially go towards the upside, okay, in very foreseeable future, and then the last dip. Okay, the last dip, and then as you can see that global liquidity is going almost vertically in here. Okay, so we could expect Bitcoin reaching its previous all-time highs. Well, hopefully, guys, based obviously on analysis of Colin and looking at these simple two indicators, I believe that's possible, especially given the fact that stochastic RSI is actually at the bottom in here. So guys, it could be very juicy. Okay, we also have some economic data coming this week, but obviously I don't want to focus on it during this video because it's going to be too long. Okay, so let's have a look at what Purov is actually showing. This is 3 daily for BTC, and he says that usually BTC forms a major bottoms around the 3D EMA 100. So that happened in obviously 2023. Let me just zoom it in. That also happened in 2024 2 times, and at the moment this is where we are at the moment. So let's see how this is going to play out. Okay, this is another, let's say, area of confluence. And now from not such a positive news, we've got many outflows if it comes to ETFs, guys. As of yesterday, 10th of March, 278.4 million of outflows. Okay, but we have to remember that this is not Larry Fink that's actually selling. These are people that are basically using BlackRock, Fidelity, and all of these you know, ETF issuers as basically exchanges, right? So now let's move to some analysis, guys. By the way, follow me on X, because from now on this is where you will be able to actually see my analysis before I post the video on YouTube. CryptoSpace99 with underscores, whatever. Now let's just zoom it out. And now, guys, despite the fact it feels bearish as fuck, the technicals are still pointing out towards the fact that this still could be considered as a retest of the previous tops, right? So let's have a look, right? This is total crypto market cap on a weekly, so of course you are not going to see the pump right away, right? But we had the previous all-time highs, then we had this very boring zone where we were for a long time, where everybody was calling for the bear cycle basically. And as you can clearly see, guys, yes, we've wicked down, but the candle actually is being still traded. Obviously we still have a lot of time for this candle to close. Nonetheless, the candle is still above this a very important level of support, I believe. And looking at stochastic RSI, we are at the bottom, guys. Okay, so potentially that could be a good thing. And now also we have finally closed that gap. I mean, BTC finally closed this gap at CME, right? Because before we were all tricked, kind of a thing, right? We went in here, let me just shake my mouse, we went in here and everybody assumed that this CME gap was actually closed, but it really wasn't, to be exact, right? So now we are finally closed on a daily, guys, so that could be another bullish thing. And also that's only BTC, right? So this is pretty much the same chart as I've just showed to you, but obviously just BTC, not total. So again, guys, this chart still looks bullish, right? Yes, the emotions are obviously telling us one thing. Nonetheless, looking at this chart, we could potentially expect some bounce towards the upside. And also another thing that makes me kind of feeling okay, let's say, despite the fact that my portfolio isn't the way it should be, pretty much like yours, is this data. Okay, so let's have a look in here. Okay, what we got in here is retail. Let me just shake. Retail is that bluish, purple, violet, whatever color, and we can see that retail is basically selling as the price of BTC is falling, and we can see that large investors are actually purchasing, right? Large investors, of course, they could be just random rich people, they could be just whales, so on and so forth, and they could be just insiders, like in you know, people in government that basically know what is about to happen, right? I personally don't believe that whales, people that have a lot of money and much more resources, pretty much, which is the money to hire more people to do analysis and stuff like that, and potentially having some inside information, I don't think that they will be accumulating BTC if they would know that something bad is about to happen to the market. Well, speaking about things that are bad that already happened to the market, well, they already did happen to the market, right? So I don't think that you know, this is the time to sell, guys, because this is something that I believe many of us are asking ourselves a question, right, about. And I'm not talking only about BTC. Obviously this particular video is about BTC, but I'm talking about altcoins and just in general your crypto assets, right? So guys, I am remaining bullish long term. Short term, we could see another shakiness, just as per global liquidity, which is 82% of correlation. As I remember, let me actually have a look back in here. Colin pointed out that there is 82% of correlation between, well, 83.2 actually, between M2 supply and Bitcoin's price, right? Of course, there is still a little bit of a probability that we could see some downside, right? Nonetheless, I believe that 83% of correlation is quite good enough for me, right? So short time frame, guys, we could still see a little bit of a shakiness. Okay, and speaking about short time frame, let's actually cover short time frame now. So let's have a look at liquidity, and I do believe that it's going to be quite easy to determine of what potentially can happen for BTC short time frame. Now more people are actually shorting BTC, right, after BTC saw this, so liquidity is obviously above, right? And now looking at the heat map, what we can see is that we've got some big levels of liquidity at $80,000, right? 80,700. So let's come back to trading view and let's switch it to candles, and let me get out of global liquidity. We don't need it anymore. Let's delete these and let's go to 4 hourly. Okay, and the level was, let's actually have a look one more time, the level to be grabbed was 80,700. there you go. So once we are going to go through this, I believe we potentially could get rejected. And why do I think so? Well, that's because we still have liquidity at 79,200, right? So what I believe is going to happen short time frame is going to be Bitcoin going towards level 80,700, right, to grab this liquidity, and then probably diving towards the downside to grab liquidity below, right? But now looking at daily time frame, guys, again, we could see a little bit of a short time frame pain, right, just grabbing these liquidities, and after that we are going to see, and we are going to reevaluate in tomorrow's update. Guys, I hope this helps, and subscribe to the channel if it does. Peace and love, crypto.